minutes after 8 o'clock at WAKR. Here we go. We're going to film school. My good friend Joe Fortunato, film study professor, joins us Fridays at this time. We're going to go back to the mid-1970s with this one, and a real breakthrough movie for one of the iconic figures in Hollywood. And Joe Fortunato, I'll let you take it from there, my friend.
Well, good morning, Ray. Good morning, everybody. And yeah, we had a good one today. It's the 50th anniversary next month of one is regarded as one of the greatest films of all time by one of our greatest directors, and that is Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Paul Schrader, starring, of course, Robert De Niro as Travis Bickle, Jodie Foster, Sybil Shepherd, Harvey Keitel, Albert Brooks. The film was nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Supporting Actress, and Musical Score. It was the only Best Picture Oscar nominee that year that didn't win any Academy Awards. So kind of unusual that a film like that didn't win any. The famous line, "You talking to me?" was voted as the number 10 movie quote of all time by the American Film Institute. And the film itself was ranked number 52 on the list of greatest movies of all time. The story was partially autobiographical for writer Paul Schrader, who suffered a nervous breakdown while he was living in Los Angeles. And he was basically friendless in the midst of a divorce and squatting in his ex-girlfriend's apartment. Anyway, he literally didn't talk to anyone for weeks, went to porn theaters, adult theaters, and basically ended up writing Taxi Driver based on that experience. He might have also, he said, been influenced by the Harry Chapin song Taxi, which was a big hit at the time. But anyway, Paul Schrader wrote a great script, and then it stars Robert De Niro. Now, Robert De Niro prepared for that role. He's a method actor, as a lot of people know, and he was working as a late-night cab driver in New York. And at that time, he wasn't as recognizable as he would be later, and he got a young actor in his cab who had Robert De Niro as his driver and said, "Hey, you just won an Oscar. Is it really that hard to get work?" So that was his. In fact, between the time that De Niro signed a very modest $35,000 contract for the film, he had won his Oscar for Godfather Part 2, and his fee went way up, and he agreed to his original fee of $35,000 just to get the movie made, which is kind of nice of him. More casting. Jodie Foster was 12 years old when the movie was filmed, so she couldn't do some of the more explicit scenes, as her character was also 12 years old. So her sister, Connie Fisher, who was 19 at the time, was cast as her body double in some of those scenes. So interesting for her. And before, we'd like to talk about casting. Before Jodie Fisher was actually eventually cast, there was about 250 applicants for the role, including newcomers like Carrie Fisher, Mariel Hemingway, Bo Derek, I think that an interesting name, Christy McNichol, Michelle Pfeiffer. In fact, there was an offer made to Tippi Hedren, but her mother, Melanie Griffith, didn't. I'm sorry, flip that around. Melanie Griffith got an offer, but her mother, Tippi Hedren, made her turn it down because she just didn't like the subject matter. Tatum O'Neal was offered the part of Iris and turned it down to do The Bad News Bears, another great movie of the 70s. And then for the role that Sybil Shepherd played, they were looking for a Sybil Shepherd type. And when Sybil Shepherd's agent heard this, they said, "Hey, why don't you just hire Sybil Shepherd?" So she got that role. And Martin, the list is long of the who's who of the 70s who was considered for the role of Travis Bickle. Martin Scorsese offered the role to Dustin Hoffman, but Hoffman turned it down because he thought Scorsese was crazy. And he said he later regretted that decision. And another interesting what if, Burt Reynolds was who said he turned down, this is him saying it, turned down the part of Travis, which was stupid in hindsight, and regretted his decision.
You know, Joe, what's interesting about this movie is the way you can see De Niro's character, Travis Bickle. At the beginning of the movie, you're okay. And then as the movie goes on, his personality comes more and more into focus and goes more and more over the edge. I love that aspect of this movie.
Yeah, it really is one of the great character studies, and that's why Travis Bickle is such a great character. And of course, I do think we owe a lot to Robert De Niro to that. The famous scene where he is talking to himself in the mirror, that was actually ad-libbed by De Niro. The screenplay just said, Travis looks in the mirror. All the other stuff was ad-libbed by him. De Niro once claimed that the "You Talking to Me" scene was inspired by banter on stage from Bruce Springsteen at a 70s concert. Another key factor to this movie is the music, and it's done by the great Bernard Herrmann, who sadly died just after finishing this, and the movie was dedicated to him. But Scorsese was a relatively unknown director, and Bernard Herrmann's wife says that when Scorsese called her famous husband to ask him to do the score, he first refused, saying, "I don't write music for car movies." Later reading the script and accepted it and did one of his greatest film scores. Kind of another funny story with Bernard Herrmann. Steven Spielberg visited the recording sessions of this movie to tell Bernard Herrmann how much he admired his work, where the prickly Bernard Herrmann responded, "Oh, yeah? Then why do you always use John Williams for your films?" So some fun stories behind the scenes there. Another kind of interesting thing, it's a time capsule of New York City during that time. Very gritty, very dark. During that time of filming, there was a garbage strike. So much of the filth that you see on screen is very much real.
I love that too. Taxi Driver, going back to 1976, really a terrific film. And if you haven't seen it in a while, you heard Joe mention certainly high accolades and high regard for Taxi Driver. And again, De Niro's done so many good things, and I think that's one of his primo roles. What do you have going, Joe, with you over at your website? Any appearances coming up?
Yeah, actually, quite a few things coming up. It was a busy spring. I encourage everyone to go to my website, joefortunato.net, look at the events page, and you can see all the stuff coming up. I'll just highlight a couple of them. Next up, on Valentine's Day, which is just a couple of weeks away, believe it or not, I will be doing a lecture at the Green Branch Library called "As Time Goes By, The History and Legacy of Casablanca." So this isn't a screening, it's a lecture and discussion about Casablanca, its history, its significance, its importance, and we'll just have a fun discussion talking about that movie as well as probably classic cinema in general. That is a free event at the Green Public Library, February 14th at 11 a.m., so check that out. I will also be doing another lecture in March at the Green Branch Library on the history of the Oscars, so look for that coming up. And then Ray, you and I together, will be doing our next Fortunato Film School live in March. So that's a ways off, but mark your calendar, March 21st, 11 a.m. We'll be doing The Godfather live at Jilly's. That's a full screening. It's one of our most requested films. Tickets are available now. So again, go to my website, joefortunato.net, and you can get information, and there's a link to the tickets for the screening of The Godfather. And we just want to see everybody. A lot of events. We want to see as many people as possible.
All right. It'll be terrific, too. Already counting down the days till we get to go down to Jilly's again. And Jill is such a wonderful host. And, boy, our last film that we did, It's a Wonderful Life, that was our biggest crowd yet. So we're looking forward to seeing you get your tickets now. Joe, great stuff this morning on Taxi Driver, as always. And we'll do it again next week. Thanks for the time, my friend.
Okay, I'll look forward to it.
There you go. Joe Fortunato, film study professor, joins us live on Fridays as he takes us to film school here on WAKR.